How is everyone doing this fine March 20, let me see, it was 11:39, March 29th, 2011. Dan Fitch, H19, here to make hits. And I might talk a bit low for this video because my sister's asleep. It's 11:30 at night, but I want to get my Facebook video production going again. In this video, I'm going to talk for like several minutes, 10 minutes or more, chances are, about life in general, different perspectives and things in life. Of course, I'll give feedback based on my own life, and we'll take it from there. Alright, pretty much, life is tough. Things happen to particular people for particular reasons. Me being a man of big faith, nowadays more than ever, I've been through it all. Shelters, foster care system, domestic violence. My God, the list goes on. And I've, I've suffered quite a great deal, as well as family members of mine, different people around me. People were the cause, obviously, of my suffering at times even. But at the end of the day, I've always found that way to stand out from other people, to really go harder, go farther, continue to grow, continue to battle these issues, these problems, these unfortunate circumstances, no matter how they came at me. Graduated from Port Richmond High School, Staten Island, New York. 4 years. I've been there from 2005 to 2009. Just graduated almost 2 years ago now. I went to visit for the first time in almost 2 years yesterday for personal reasons. Man, it's a blessing to go back to your old high school you haven't visited in almost 2 years with a good energy, a good aura, per se, instead of a bad one. My freshman and sophomore years in that high school weren't my best years of life. I was hanging out in the streets. I was 15 and I had a little bit of alcohol. But I never smoked and I never will. It's a plan. I know how people always use the terms never say never. But me being a guy of humongous faith, so much drive, people say I have. My name spreads throughout New York City foster care agencies like wildfire. I leave my mark in the foster care, the social work fields, but I'm not done. I continue to work hard, go far. But it's like, it's really passionate, it's real deep for me because at the end of the day, you have to live life to the fullest. Am I wrong or am I right? And there's always going to be oppression, suppression, depression. There's always going to be different circumstances and different things, different trials and tribulations that you may face. And those trials and tribulations, how you go about tackling them is how you get through life, your daily activities and responsibilities and more. And for me, I battled a lot of issues, as I've told you, over my 109, once this video hopefully is complete properly, Facebook videos, that I've been through a lot of hell, but I've experienced heaven as well. I spoiled myself financially. I continue to buy myself nice stuff. Growing up, I'm 20 years old, continuing to be a positive role model to my younger sisters and siblings, as well as younger youth in foster care, as well as just younger youth in general that I meet every day, whether a year older than me or several hours younger than me. I try to leave my mark, my impact of positive energy everywhere I go. I've had my mood swings, emotions. I've been through a lot of relationships with different people, positive and negative ones. Mentally, before it scarred me. Nowadays, I just forget it ever happened, forget I ever knew the person, erase the person out of my memory even. But different circumstances really can change your life. And for me, my life has definitely been changed. Sorry about that. It's a MacBook. But my life has really been changed in different senses because I've always had an issue stand in certain particular time periods of my young 20 years of life, and how I carried myself through each time period really goes to show my character, really the person that you know me as today, or you've always known me. For those who know me for 7 years from IS72, for those who know me from Twitter, from those who know me from here on Facebook 3 years, 2 years ago, from those who know me hours ago, from those who know me from 49, from those who know me from Harlem, New York City, New York State, just in general, for those who know me by any of my names, any of my codes, my tags, my sayings over the last 15 years, even my people from the churches that I have, Bethel, Calvary, and Metropolitan. I have over 50, 100 friends alone out of my 500 plus friends from the churches. You guys mean a lot to me. I'm sorry I don't get to really write on your walls and speak to you that much, but because of my upbringing and bringing in the churches, actually, that's why I am such a positive individual, and I show much respect and give much thanks to those people who started me off during my beginning years of life, my prime, not prime, but that dawn, that start of my life, my childhood, my pre-teenagehood. I grew up in churches for over 15 years and continue to go to churches to maintain that positive influence, that positive mood, and that positive drive. Just positivity in general. And it's all love, it's all real. And what people don't understand is there's always going to be different religions out there. But my thing is, there are cult religions, there are racist people, there are people who stereotype each other, there are people who hate on other people just because they want to be at that person's level. There are people that tackle obstacles but sacrifice their own lives per se in their circumstances of defeating that obstacle. There are people who claim they love people but don't love them. There are people who claim they love people and do. There are people who can show emotion, males and females, and there are people who cannot show emotions, males and females. But at the end of the day, life is not going to be a stroll in the park, a walk in the park. But if at least if you want to make it that way, you have to carry yourself out with a form and sense of respect. And you want to treat people how you want to be treated. You want to have a positive force around. You want to be surrounded by positive people and positive influences. That's why, if anything, I delete people off my social networking as well as real life. I just eliminate you out my life. Once I delete you out my phone, that's it. You know, if I don't have no other way of reaching you, I'm making a statement to you, and that's me personally. But still, people do this stuff every day. A lot of individuals really don't understand what it's like for us foster care youth, me being practically in my fourth year of the system, aka that's what we call it in this country. We call it the system in America. And it's been tough for me, but nowadays the only really tough things is me just dealing with, like, making it to 21 years old with the house, making it to 21 years old with enough college credits behind my back to say I've done enough in school. But I'm not done. I'm going to continue to go hard. I'm going to continue to push farther. And it's crazy because that's really how things can end up. So me personally, I just want to share that with you, because as individuals, we must try to not look at life for the things we don't get, but the things that we do get. Be thankful, be faithful about things, have a positive mindset about the little things in your life, have a positive force, have that drive. I stress positivity a lot because it's so important, and people do not necessarily understand that. And that's why I go so hard in my Facebook videos, because me personally, I go so hard in life to achieve success, and I'm never done with achieving that success. Well, I'm never done with achieving that success once I get to a certain level of that success, or I made it there. I'm never done as far as being the best. I will continue to be the best until I die, because that's just how I am as a person. That's how my father is, and that's how he was. He was a person that was taught by his grandparents, his parents, his family member, my great uncles, his uncles and aunts, the great influences that have been in his life. I was raised in a household up to several years by my mother and father, but not every individual has that mother and father figure in their homes. A lot of youth grow up homeless. A lot of youth grow up in foster care. A lot of youth grow up in a life of crime and poverty. And that's why we have to stick together as a people. No, not just the black people. No, not just the white people. No, not the brown, the Indian, the Spanish, Dominican, Irish, German, European, Switzerland. I mean, the list goes on as far as the different ethnicities and races of people, but just us as individuals, as human beings, as a species of mammals as a whole, we must stick together, or we will die together, or we will die in vain. We will die. Everybody has to die at some point in their life, because our bodies were not made to last over 120 years. Thank God how some people have lasted over 115 years in different countries. And we've had a woman in Ohio recently, I believe, lived to 119 years old. This woman wasn't recognized for that honor, because not necessarily because she was an African American individual. Sometimes we don't always get those privileges. I'm just going to be real by saying that. But more because people think living to 119 years old is something that happens every day, but it's actually very special for any individual to surpass 100 years old, because not that many people make it to 5 years old, not that many people make it to 2, not that many people make it to 80, 50, 60. The numbers can range between birth and 120. So, to be real, but that's the crazy thing. We live in a society, or me personally, I live in a society known as Harlem, New York City, New York State, America, the earth, the world. I live in such a society that people can buy $150 pairs of sneakers, but not that I haven't. I trust me, I spoil myself. You see the sneaker boxes. I love to buy nice stuff. I like to treat myself, but I make sure at the end of the day my little sisters have food on their plate. Even when my aunt is doing the right thing, I will help her supply